Hi, my name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can give winning high stakes speeches, whether it's for a job interview, a business meeting, or even a conference. Today, I'm going to talk about leadership. This is a word that we hear all the time: leader, leadership. Every time you turn on a TV or read a magazine or read a book, there's so many books on leadership. But what does it really even mean? Like, do we even really understand what is leadership? And one of the best ways to understand leadership is to look at the political landscape, because that's very transparent. In business, it's kind of hard unless you're very close to leadership on how it's really working. The only way you can really observe leadership is what you see out in politics. Things that you can observe. That's where you can really see leadership. Otherwise, the rest of it is all hearsay. It's all embellished to the point where you don't even know whether it's really leadership or what. So I was giving some thought to this, and I came up with there are two levels of leadership: level one and level two. So let me explain what these two levels are. Level one leadership, the way I look at it, is leaders who can create movements. These are leaders who really can galvanize people's support. A good example of this would be Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Donald Trump, for example. It remains to be seen whether he can go beyond level one leadership. And even Arab Spring. Arab Spring was an example of a level one leadership. They were able to create a movement and topple Mubarak. But there was no level two leadership. It did not exist. So what is level two leadership? Level two leadership is a little bit more difficult. So level one creates movement. Now level two, you got to get things done. That's a different kind of skill altogether. Level two is about getting things done. If you cannot get things done, then what you get is an Arab Spring, a mess. So who are some of the examples of level two leaders? Dwight Eisenhower would be a level two leader. George Marshall during World War II would be a level two leader, created the Marshall Plan. That's a level two leadership, getting things done. Lyndon Johnson is a great example of a level two leader. So level two leaders are not the ones who create movements, but who can get things done. In the past election, we had Donald Trump, who I consider as a level one leader. He created a movement and that got him elected. I believe Hillary Clinton would have been a great level two leader. She knew how to get things done, but she did not have the skill to be a level one leader. So we'll never know what kind of president she would have become. I think she would have been a great president, but we'll never know that. So the next thing is, are there any examples where somebody's both a level one and a level two leader? Yes, there are good examples of level one and level two leaders. I would say the two most, and you have to look at the presidents. Ronald Reagan, I think, was both a level one and a level two leader. He not only was able to galvanize, create a movement, a conservative movement, and get people elected, but then when he became president, he knew how to compromise and get a lot of his legislation passed. So he was both a level one and a level two leader. Barack Obama also was a good level one and a level two leader. He's a community organizer, so he knows how to create a movement, and he did that with his slogan, "Yes, we can." But then you also have to give him a tremendous amount of credit that he also was able to pass the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. And that was an example of level two leadership because he knew that for that legislation to pass, he needed to work closely with the Congress, especially the leadership in Congress, Steny Hoyer and Nancy Pelosi, and in the Senate, Harry Reid and Dick Durbin. You may not like Obama, but the one thing you cannot knock him for is that he was a good leader. He knew how to win elections and he knew how to pass legislation. And he was successful. And when you look at the current situation, and I have no idea whether Donald Trump is going to be successful in passing the repealing and replacing the Obamacare. As of this recording, it doesn't look like that's going to be possible. And a level 2 leadership requires you to convince people who now can scuttle your initiative to fall on the sword. If you cannot get them to fall on the sword, then your level 2 leadership is dead. It doesn't exist. Nancy Pelosi, you may not like her. You may think she's incompetent or whatever. But one thing is, she's a great leader. She got many congressmen to fall on the sword and pass the ACA. Many of them did not get reelected. And as a result, the Democratic Party got decimated. But leadership is that you got to get people to fall on the sword if you want to do something amazing. The question is, does Donald Trump have level 2 leadership? We know he's a level 1 leader, otherwise he wouldn't be a president. But the level 2 leadership requires for him to get a lot of these congressmen and congresswomen to fall on the sword. They're going to have to pass his legislation so that they may end up losing their seat. If he can't get them to do that, he's not a good level 2 leader. That's what level 2 leadership's all about. The cause is bigger than your interest, your own interest. Democrats certainly, especially Pelosi and Obama and Harry Reid, were able to successfully do that. It is not clear whether Donald Trump, Paul Ryan, and Mitch McConnell have that skill. Okay?